Hello, and I'd like to welcome you all once again to the old schoolhouse here in the village of Butterstone in Scotland for this, our 18th wee live concert. And we're doing them every second night now for a month. And for those of you who have just joined us, because new people are joining all the time, we're actually in what was the old village school in Butterstone. And Butterstone's a wee village of about 10 houses, and it's where I grew up. And this was the wee village school that where all the rural kids went to school. And I went to school here when I was a wee boy, and my father went to school here in the 1930s. And so it's been great to be doing all these live broadcasts. When the school closed, I was very lucky. It lay empty for a number of years, and then I was able to buy it, and now it's part of our studio here. And anyway, it's been great fun over the last 18 concerts. I try and make it feel like a wee concert too, because I've got chairs and that laid out, and so that people can, you can, when you're at home, you can sit with get your glass of wine and your wee bowl of nuts, whatever you're going to do, and sit back and put it on your big telly and kind of pretend you're at a concert. And so I'm going to start off with a wee bit of a kind of family theme tonight. I've been trying not to repeat myself as well over the last 18 nights. And these are all songs I've written. So I've not been repeating myself. I think I worked it out. It's nearly 70 songs now I've done that. I've got quite a catalogue of songs that I've written, but I'm now starting to dig kind of deep into the bag of songs, and so it gives a wee bit more precarious as we go along, whether I'll actually get through them or not. Anyway, I was going to start with this song, and I have to explain a wee bit about it because it's explaining my family a wee bit. I grew up just a couple of miles from here on a big estate. My father was a head gardener. You've probably seen Downton Abbey on the telly. Well, that was the situation that I grew up in, and my father was the head gardener, and there was 3 gardeners, and it was the lord and the lady that had the big mansion house. And we grew up, but I was always amazed, when I was young, it was... all the people, we all lived in tied houses, which made sure that you behaved yourselves, And so in this area, when I was growing up, nobody would have owned their house. They lived in a tied house, and you're either a tenant farmer or you had a tied house, and that kept you kind of. And I was always kind of upset when I was young, because the lord and lady, that made sure that my father would go, "Yes, my lord," and "No, my lady," but they were quite cruel. They never called him Duncan, which was his name. They always called him MacLean. I was always amazed at that when I was young. It was kind of like, "MacLean, are the tomatoes ready?" Anyway, then at the end of the year, we used to all have to go out pheasant beating in the woods, that was sort of so that the laird would have all his friends around to shoot, and all the staff on the estate and all the workers on the tenant farmers, we'd all have to go out into the woods in the soaking wet. Even kids, even when we were wee, I remember going out as a 10-year-old to beat the pheasants so that they could shoot them. And so that's where this song came from, that, because when I came back home to Perthshire, the whole of Perthshire was still very feudal. When I came back home, people started buying their own houses, and all that stuff didn't exist anymore, And in fact, that's where this song came from. It's called Rankin Roses. We are our father's dreams. We are our mother's pride and joy. And we will be the ones to tell you now that it's over. You have no hold on us like the fear you laid on them. We are the seeds they grew. We that you must answer to. They worked through wind and rain to keep the roof above our heads, humbled time and time again. What could they do? crawled across your floors to keep and clean your houses, broken wounds and open sores. What could they do? A little respect would have helped them through. We are our father's dreams, we are our mother's pride and joy, and we will be the ones to tell you now that it's over. You have no hold on us like the fear you laid on them. We are the seeds they grew. It's we that you must answer to. Occasion in the village hall, she speaks with rank and roses, so high above them all. What could they do? And he struts with dog and gun. They scramble through a heather hell, beat the ground until they run. What could they do? Respect would have helped them through. We are our father's dreams, we are our mother's pride and joy, and we will be the ones to tell you now that it's over. You have no hold on us like the fear you laid on them. We are the seeds they grew. It's we that you must answer to. We are the seeds they grew. 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 We are our Father's Son. We are the seeds they grew. We are our Father's Son. We are the seeds they grew. We are our Father's dreams. We are our mother's pride and joy. We will be the ones to tell you now that it's over. You have no hold on us like the fear you laid on them. We are the seeds they grew. It's we that you must answer to. That's my song, my angry song, Rankin Roses. And I had to dig deep to get that one out of the bag, but it's lovely to sing it, actually. And times have changed so much here in Perth, so it's brilliant. I'm going to do this wee song, which kind of continues that theme. When I was young, I had a very close friend who sadly passed away 3 years ago, and I'd like to dedicate this wee song to him. A gentleman called Ewan Sutherland, who lots of you who come to the festival will know Ewan. And Ewan and I, if it hadn't been for Ewan, I probably wouldn't have learned to play guitar. And Ewan and I had a little duo when we were 16, and we would go out and play in all the Women's Rural Association meetings in the village halls and wee things like that. And it was a great, we were great pals, and we stayed together. We stayed in contact all over my life. And sadly, when he passed away, I was quite devastated. And when we were 18, we ended up both working on a farm in New Tile, North Nevy Farm in New Tile, and. It was a fantastic time. I mean, we both drove tractors, and we were actually at the very end of a kind of very traditional kind of way of working farming in Scotland, where you had it used to be the first horseman, the second horseman, the third horseman, and the oarman, the man who did the rough jobs. But when we were at the farm, it was the first tractorman, the second tractorman, the third tractorman, and the mechanic. And but it was a fantastic. There was a kind of whole hierarchy and a kind of structure to the working day, and we'd all meet I was the third tractorman, and Ewan was the second tractorman, and an old guy called Dave was the first tractorman. He was the boss, and we'd meet in the tractor shed in the morning. It was like, when we refueled the tractors, it was like feeding the horses, and then we sat on this old bench, and we'd wait till the grieve, who was the kind of he was the boss, not the farm owner, but he was the boss of the work, and he would come in and give us our orders for the day, and he would give the orders to the first tractorman first, then the second tractorman, and then the third tractorman, and so then if there was a good job, the first tractorman got it, the second tractorman got the better job, and me being the third tractorman, I always got the shit jobs, and. But it was fascinating, and and you dare not go. You wouldn't leave the field before the first tractorman. So if you were all three, you working in the field with your tractors, you had to wait till the first tractorman left, then the second tractorman, then the third tractorman. It was a lovely kind of connection to a really old way of working. And anyway, I wrote this song when I was there, and try to make it kind of like an old bothy ballady type kind of song. Now, actually, I think I might have a wee photograph of you, and I don't know whether Mrs. MacLean, who's in charge of the technology up the back there, Jenny, if she can show you this lovely wee old photograph of me and you. I think we were 16 on the River Ericht in Blairgowrie, and I think that was my old Suzuki nylon string guitar that I learned to play guitar on. But it was a great time, and a great chance to kind of catch the last part of that wonderful kind of farming tradition that was around. So we'll try it, and I don't know whether. Okay, so here we go. We'll have a wee go. A place in a farm in Strathmore to bring the harvest home, watch the nature roar, and we rise at dawn in the sun's clear light, in the sun's clear light. We would start our day. The sleepy head sat on the old wood bench in the tractor shed. The grieve would say, lads, it's time to go. Oh, it's time to go. And it turns again, and slow it turns again, with every breath we blow, for it's the only thing we know. Old Dave was first, and we dare not leave until the pipe was done, and he rolled his sleeve, and then we'd all set out to the far top field, to the far top field. And old Dave would cut, and Tim and I would lead, and we'd move that hay until our hands would bleed. spirits high, to keep our spirits high. And it turns again, endless and slow, it turns again. With every breath we blow, for it's the only thing we know. Come on, Mr. Tieface. And we'd work the while, and we'd sweat our brow, and we'd take our peace on the hazel now. And it would taste so good, and old Dave would smile, old Dave would smile. Oh, and it turns again, endless and slow, it turns again. With every breath we blow, for it's the only thing we know. You could sing that with me, actually. And it turns again, endless and slow, it turns again. With every breath we blow, for it's the only thing we know. Oh, it took a place in a farm in Strathmore to bring the harvest home and watch the nature roar. Start our day with a sleepy head, with a sleepy head. Oh, and it turns again, endless and slow, it turns again. With every breath we blow, for it's the only thing we know. Hey, we'll do that wee chorus again. I see, you ready? You ready, Amber? Right. And it turns again, endless and slow, it turns again. With every breath we blow, for it's the only thing we know. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm assuming that you're clapping your hands and not throwing things at your computer screens. That was my wee song, Strathmore, and it's lovely to sort of kind of revisit the times when. Because you know, the funny thing, working on a farm is very, very hard work, but it's actually good fun being that exhausted and tired, and there's a funny kind of sense of there's a funny sense of peace in that kind of very hard work. I'm going to do this wee song. This is where I do a song with a chorus, and I was kind of looking through what's left of my songs that in my catalogue to think of a wee chorus song to get you all to sing, and I'm going to do this, and this is a song. Actually, it's on one of my older records, and it was recorded in Nashville, and actually, there's a backing singer not let Amber hear this, but there's a wonderful lady singer called Trisha Yearwood who did the backing vocals on this on my record. And this was long before she's now this huge star, wonderful singer. And this is before she was a huge star, and she was doing kind of session singing around Nashville. And it's wonderful. She came in 10 minutes, did the wonderful harmony for it. And you sing, "This line is broken, and what could have been saved has been wasted away. This line has broken, and what could have been saved has been wasted away." So we'll try and see how we got on. Okay. How long? Oh, ha, ha. You nearly got the Michael Jackson version of it there. It's better. How long do you think it would take until it started to weaken? And how long could you fumble and fake and not see it was beaten? Crave for the other man's shoes. You break and you bite, you black and you bruise, but this line is broken, and what could have been saved has been wasted away. This line have been saved has been wasted away. That's what you sing. You try it with me. This line is broken, and what could have been saved has been wasted away. This line have been saved has been wasted away. And you've no right to act like the child who's been lost and forsaken. And you've no right to be angry and wild at the choices you've taken. You crave for the other man's time. You black and you bruise, you creep and you climb, but this line is broken, and what could have been saved has been wasted away. This line is broken, and what could have been saved has been wasted away. This is where you sing it on your own. Are you ready? Here we go. Don't be scared, you'll be all right. Here we go. just getting the hang of it there. I think we'll just do it again. Okay, we go. This life is broken, and we could have seen. What was the tight head? Wind blows on friendship's young face. Look at it burning, turning, fading away. This line is broken, and what could have been saved has been wasted away. This line is broken, and what could have been saved has been wasted away. Thank you very much. That's my song, This Line Has Broken. I don't think I've sung that actually since I recorded it on a stage. Anyway, it's a wee bit fun doing it. I'm going to do a wee thing. I've been getting lots and lots of requests to play my fiddle. And because most people don't realise I had a career as a fiddle player for the age of about 20 to the age of about 30, and I played with a wonderful band called the Tannehill Weavers, and we travelled all over Europe. And I like to write tunes on my fiddle. I don't play much. I like to play it for dancing and up in the village hall and stuff like that, but I don't really keep on top of it these days, so I don't do much on my solo shows. But there's not many people ask me to play it that I'm going to have a wee go at this, and it's a wee slow air. It's kind of tied into the song I started off with, because in the old days, fiddle players it was always the kind of toffs, you know, the kind of lords and ladies that kind of sponsored they were kind of like the patrons of the fiddle players or the musicians around, you know. And you'll probably notice that lots of the old Scottish fiddle tunes they're all written for Lady Mary Hay of Anne something, you know, Baroness something or other, you know. And it was because that's what they were getting paid for, and they probably didn't write them for them. The fiddle player probably had a bag of fiddle tunes, you know, and the laird would come and the Lord would come and say, I want a tune for my wife's golden wedding anniversary or something, and he'd walk about and say, well, this is the perfect tune, and call it that, you know. So, and anyway, I thought it would be lovely for my mum and dad who had been worked on the estate to have their tune as well. So I wrote a wee slow air called Mr. and Mrs. MacLean of Snego, which is where the big private estate where my father worked. And we'll try it now. And I don't know whether this is going to work or not, because I'm just going to use my vocal mic for it, but we'll see what happens. And it's quite cold in the old school here tonight. We forgot to put the heating on, and my hands are really cold. So we'll see how we go on. Here we go. So here we go. And that's my wee fiddle tune called Mr. and Mrs. MacLean of Sligo that I wrote for my mum and dad. And we're going to add we're coming to the end of the half an hour now, but we're going to add a wee extra thing on here tonight just for a bit of fun. And so this is the stage this is the place where I'd like to thank all the people and everybody who's watching from all the different parts. We've got some amazing people from amazing different parts of the world. Well, I'm going to read out a few that we had today. Incredible number of people watching, and thank you so much for tuning in. And tonight we've got people from the Ukraine watching, from Norwich in England. I love Norwich. That's I spent a wee bit of time in Norwich. Yeah, what was the name of the art centre? The Premises Art Centre in Norwich. Yeah. And Incredible Edibles used to be a great hamburger joint up. Anyway, and we've got people from Austria watching tonight, people from Brazil, from Sydney and Nova Scotia. I've been there, I've played there. In Uruguay, Florida, West Virginia, and Tennessee in the USA. Hi, I've played in all of these places. Bremen in Germany. It's an amazing place, Bremen. I've used to do lots of shows around that area. And Cork in Ireland. Well, that's another brilliant place. Portugal, India, Sweden, and Dubai. And we've got all kinds of locals as well. People from Blairgowrie, Crieff, Burnham, Renfrew, Wick. All of the Scottish people. And and people from all over Australia are watching as well. We've got all kinds of people kind of leaving their wee message. So if you're watching from somewhere exotic, leave a wee message on our Facebook page, and that's great. So what we're going to do now is my wife Jenny works up the back. To explain a little bit, before the whole lockdown thing happened, my very clever son set me up with a 4-camera setup that is automated, so it can automate, and so we have to kind of. That's why Mr. Tatty Head is here, because I have to set up the cameras and focus them, and he comes and stands here, and I can focus up, and then of course those of you who have been watching regularly will know that his family have all kind of arrived But it's so Jenny has to start it all and keep the buttons under control. But she's going to come down for this last wee thing and play a wee bit of piano on a couple of wee tunes, just to kind of for a wee bit of fun. Now, but this could go pear-shaped or it could work. But we'll just see what happens. We've got my lovely old listener piano here, and it's a tune. We're going to play a wee tune called "The Osprey," which is a tune from a fiddle record I made years ago, and then a wee jig from a local fiddle player called James McIntosh, who wrote some great local fiddle tunes, kind of like a turn of the century, I think it was. So Jenny has to press a couple of buttons, then run down to the piano, and oh yeah, and before we do that, I'd like to. This is a place also where I like to thank all the NHS people and all the people that are out there helping us, all the carers and all the bin men, the bus drivers, the delivery guys, the teachers that are teaching in schools that are keeping the kids going in some of the schools, just all the people that are out there doing their wee bit. Thanks very much for that, and always be indebted to you for it. And so Mrs. MacLean's going to press the buttons now and then run down to the piano, and we'll get started. Okay. Here we go. And a big round of applause for Jenny MacLean, who's never done that. A big round of applause for Jenny, who has never done that before, and she's been terrified all day about doing it. But it was brilliant. It was great fun. So thank you very much for joining us, and I will see you in a couple of nights' time. That will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. So I'll see you on Sunday night, and I hope you're all looking after each other. Take care of yourselves. I am going to just have a wee toast with my 85-year-old glass of port, which I always do. And you all take care. I'll see you in a couple of nights. Bye-bye now.